Allergies?
Sneezing. I'm allergic.
Allergy?
Yeah, just started since July.
I'm gonna start this off right now. Alrighty. Welcome to another Modern Maverick Podcast. This makes number 4 already. 4. Welcome. Today, July 27th.
You have to double check.
Jesus, I don't keep track
Date
with
doesn't
that.
matter on the weekend.
I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
Really. But I do give a fuck because I'm on vacation as of August 31st at 5 p.m. More likely like 4:45. I don't think I'm going to do any more work
Yeah,
the
you
last
sure
50
not
minutes.
as of
No.
9:02 a.m.?
No, you know what? The last day before vacation is always hectic because I have to organize everything and get everything ready for whoever's taking my place, whoever's doing my work when I'm away.
I start planning it about 11 months before my vacation starts.
So luckily I'm surrounded with great coworkers that I'm confident will keep shit afloat
together,
when I'm gone.
Yeah. Well,
I
shit
don't know,
floats
worries.
usually, I think. So, you know.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Depends what you've been eating. Ugh.
But yeah, so I'm on vacation as of next Wednesday night and for 14 days, basically half the month of August. So going back home.
Didn't you say the 31st of August?
31st of August is Wednesday?
No, July, you mean. 31st
July.
of July.
What am I fucking saying?
Man,
For some reason, I keep thinking we're in August.
Man, you know, the summer goes by fast enough as it is. Please. I'll take it away from us.
So anyway, that's it. The Modern Maverick Podcast number 4. Dude, my website is up.
I know. It
looks
pretty cool. I like
modernmaverick.net. Check it out if you haven't done so already. I did it. Everything that's on the website. Everything is by me. Made by me, and I didn't even count the hours I spent on it, but thanks to Wix.com, W-I-X, which is a website building website. It's build a website for dummies, basically. It's really simple.
It teaches you as you go kind of thing?
There's no HTML code involved. Very minimum, unless you want to put links.
Fuck HTML, man. Let's bring that shit down.
It's really like basically copy, paste,
get rid of it.
Pictures, put your links up, and everything brought in. Everything in the background, the HTML code is already all done.
Drag and drop, man.
Yeah,
Let's bring it back.
It's amazing.
2013, a revolution.
I use that, and so my website is up. And so check it out, www.modernmaverick.net.
Soon we're going to get like a fancy banner. If we can get really cool
in the background here as well. And
if we
maybe
can do it digitally, that'd be cool. You know, if not, we'll just get stickers. Hey, where's our mascot?
It's
your
my son.
Your son got him with him?
He didn't like it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's in his room somewhere. I told him to put his toys away, and he listened. So he did.
You got a good kid.
No mascot. Mascot is this.
Yeah, well, brought to you by
Dos.
I like this beer. I'm so happy they
brought it. It was on special at Shell for like $16.99.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's
this is not normally like
beer of millionaires, or
is it?
Interesting people anyway.
Interesting,
the world's most interesting man. You got to be a millionaire to be that.
The world's most interesting podcast right now. So
right now,
cheers.
Cheers to that. Right. Huh? Thank you, Dos.
Holy shit. Yeah. And so the website is up. Facebook page has been up since the beginning. Check it out. Facebook page. You can check me out on Twitter at Steph Paulin. Also on Facebook, you can check my my bro right here. On Twitter. J Flynn MTL.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
J Flynn MTL, and I think my Facebook one is Flynn 24/7 because it's all me, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it. I am also on Instagram. I love Instagram. Same.
Too many pictures of meals on Instagram, I find.
Of who?
Of meals. People with
I don't do the food porn. The hashtag food porn.
Supper.
I don't give a fuck what you have for lunch.
Hashtag food porn, yeah.
I
don't care.
I post a lot of pictures of my son.
Yeah,
my son, my family, my training team, and I posted a bunch of pictures today actually down on Facebook from sparring and
some of your team. Yeah.
So that's what I use Instagram for. Instagram at Steph Paulin, same thing as Twitter on it. So check me out on there if you're on Instagram. If you're on Twitter, check me out as well on Facebook. And I have all those links on the website, modernmaverick.net. Again, modernmaverick.net.
Make it your homepage today.
That's it. So how's your week? You were in Quebec all week?
I was in Quebec once again.
Once again.
Weather was nice, though, this week. Had some company as well
beautiful.
for a few nights, so I got to enjoy the city a bit. I felt like a tourist, actually.
It's a beautiful city. I
is.
have been for about 45 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
We on our way back from New Brunswick last
Yeah,
year,
you
we
must cross
stopped.
by it.
Yeah, we always drive by. So my girlfriend was like, "Hey, how about we stop?" We stopped by, drove through the city, went to the old section.
Yeah,
there.
had to put in and left.
Yeah. No, we just started walking around, and my son was a bit tired, and we're like, "This is it." Yeah. There's a lot of people. It was a very nice day, and we're like, "Fuck this, let's go back to Montreal." You know, I've been on the road for like 10 hours or
Yeah,
almost.
I could understand. Yeah, if you've been on
I was
the
like,
road.
I want to get home.
Yeah,
So
I don't blame you. But
I
definitely
know
worth checking
Quebec
out
is
for
a
at least a
beauty,
weekend.
yeah,
If you
I've
love
heard.
history, architecture, all that stuff. And I lived there for 2 years. And I did something this week that I never did in those 2 years is actually walk along the top of the fort. You know, they got the fort that's the city. And it's really cool. You know, you see
We went all the way to the end,
Get some
and
nice
we
views and
walked
everything.
on the wall. Is that what you're talking about?
you walked along the top of the wall?
Yeah, like
actual
where
fort,
there's
yeah.
like a few boutiques on this side
Yeah.
or whatever, and then you get to the end, and there you can look. I don't quite remember.
There's a lot more to it. You
Yeah.
probably just saw a small part of it, but it's a really nice city. And yeah, the people are nice, and I guess they're used to all the tourists, which are from all over the place, especially this time
it's
of
pretty
year.
popular. It's probably the most popular Montreal, Quebec. I
Yeah,
think.
I think for somebody who's coming from out of town, unless you want to hit the bars and go dancing and stuff, I think there's more to do in Quebec than there would be in Montreal. Because you've got the mountains, you've got nature, you've got so much
Yeah.
stuff that's just a stone's throw away. And
What's
there's so
the
much history.
club life though in Quebec?
It's a little lamer, I guess. There's a few hot spots. The downtown stretch, or at least where everyone goes out on Grande Allée, has got a few cool spots. The typical music and atmosphere as far as you would expect, but because
Like
there's
pubs
fewer
and
places,
bars
yeah,
and
pubs are cool.
terrace
They've
and-
got a lot of the terraces and whatnot are cool. It's similar. You just don't have as much of a choice. Maybe it's a bit of a different vibe, a different feel because Quebec and Montreal are different. But what is really cool is you've got the Dagobert, which is something that they don't have in Montreal, and that's a bar that actually plays rock music. Get this, with live bands. Wow.
Really, I've heard of the Dagobert since I was
Live bands, they still
young,
exist
even
apparently.
back home.
Live rock bands, yeah.
They still do live bands.
They still do
I didn't
it.
know
And
that
upstairs,
club was
there's
still
the club,
open.
and you can go up. Yeah, there was a fire, I think it was last year.
Yeah,
a lot
that's
of it,
it.
burnt, but they rebuilt, they revamped, they renovated. And
That's
across
nice.
the street, you got Chez Maurice. And by name, you wouldn't think much of it, but it's
Chez
really a big
Maurice,
place.
yeah.
Kind of gives you the impression, Saint-Sulpice here on Saint-Denis.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
an old
yeah.
manor kind of thing. That's what the entire kind of block down Grande Allée looks like. It's still all the old buildings. So it's
Yeah.
a lot of old mansions, houses that have been renovated and turned into restaurants or clubs, whatever the case may be. So it's cool because they still got the old look to it. Not a lot of stuff has changed with the exception of the new buildings that have gone up.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I got the feeling when I was there, a lot of old buildings, and you get the feeling it's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, after I'd been in the car for like 8 hours, I just wanted to get the fuck home. So I was like, yeah, okay, it's nice. Let's go home. Like I'm tired, But it's definitely something that I should check out after, soon. Especially it's probably a good weekend spot where you can go in the weekend.
Oh
stay
yeah, and
over.
even wintertime, especially around
Yeah,
the
winter,
holidays.
yeah.
That old Quebec part is lit up like a Christmas village. It makes me think. Remember the opening to Gremlins? It's set in a small
Yeah,
town, and it's
yeah.
set right around Christmas time, and you see the little Christmas town, the lights and everything. Kind of gives you that impression, little Christmas village.
Gremlins. I haven't seen that. Yeah, I remember that because it reminded me of when I was back home. Small town setting and
That's
that
it.
thing.
They what I tell everybody is Quebec kind of has that small town feel because it is small size wise, but
Yeah.
there are a few 100,000 people or 500, whatever it's up to now. But it's still you've got the city. You kind of get the best of both worlds. You want to go skiing.
The
you wanna go
surrounding
for golf.
area are also very nice. I hear there's a lot of colleges or cegeps and stuff.
Oh,
like that. I
well,
think,
the Université Laval is huge.
Yeah.
Where the Rouge et Or play, big football stadium there. The campus is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Takes up a big part of the city.
That's nice.
Lots of stuff to check out. It's cool. It was cool to visit. Living there, like I said, after 2 years, I definitely had my fill.
Yeah, you going
It was
back
time
or?
to come home. I actually got to go back, not this week, but the one after.
Yeah.
And then I'll be on vacation, so it's all good.
Any plans?
Golf.
Golfing.
Golf. Yeah.
You golf today?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to redeem myself. I want to go tomorrow to redeem myself. I played so bad.
Where'd you play?
We played out in two mountains, de Montagne.
Deux Montagnes. I
Yeah.
didn't know they had a golf course there.
Yeah, they got
nice.
they got a few near. Not too bad. Not the nicest course we've played, but not too far either. Convenient, I guess. But playing at
Yeah,
10
it's not that
o'clock-
far. You can take the.
Yeah, from Laval, it's 20 minutes. You
Yeah.
hop on the 13 and you're there almost. But no, after gloating about my awesome round last week.
Yeah, it's true.
Today, no.
Well,
No, it doesn't always
You can't be
work.
always pro-like.
No.
You know, or close to pro-like.
I was less Tiger Woods and more Happy Gilmore. Let's just say, you know. Yeah, what can you do?
At
Or
least
Charles
you were
Barkley.
happy, right?
Well, yeah, for sometimes. Sometimes
yeah.
upset too. But I didn't throw my club.
Every time I
Maybe
played
cursed a
golf
few
in my
times.
life, I always end up either swearing a lot or like by the end not really giving a fuck.
At
Like,
the end, I tell myself, well, at least you got a bit of a tan today, so you know.
it's a fucking nice day outside. It's not too hot, and it's
No, not
just
too humid,
perfect.
not too bad, just right.
We got
Feels
fucking. I
like
woke up last week
perfect
and
summer
I
day.
thought I overslept into October. It was like 13 degrees. I was like, what?
Yeah.
That was weird. Like all this hot weather and all of a sudden, boom. I'm just hoping for some beautiful weather when I go back to New Brunswick next week. If I'm there for a while and go out boating and
Is the water warm? Warm enough to
there's
swim
the
without
beach
freezing?
is you know what, you get used to it. It's
Yeah.
warm enough to go in and get used to it.
But you're looking like at 70 degrees, 72
I don't
degrees
know.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people go and swim and but it's not like anything we have around here because everything around here is like lakes,
Well,
so
that's
it's
it.
different.
I mean, there you're at least getting ocean.
It's,
But I know I
yeah.
vacationed, let's say, like Old Orchard, and the water wasn't always warm.
Yeah,
in
it's
Old
similar to that. Yeah,
But
there are a
similar.
lot of waves sometimes, and it's not always the warmest, but you get used to it after a while, and you can go for a swim.
Get one of those merman bodysuits. if
Merman,
anything,
yeah.
right? Merman. Do you surf? Can you surf out there?
No, there's not enough.
No surfing? Gotta
The
try that
waves
one
only
day.
get big like me sometimes during the winter time when there's like big winds and stuff. But I mean, it's full of ice.
Can't
and
even
stuff.
boogie board? You can't boogie board?
Yeah,
either?
you can boogie board.
Boogie board.
Yeah, boogie board is fun.
I remember
I just
first
wanna
time
go
I
to the
boogie board,
beach.
man, my chest was like, it was like I had a rash afterwards.
Yeah.
You got to get one of those that are smooth. You buy the cheap ones. At
Or
the
you
gift
buy
shop
like
by
a
the
rash
beach.
guard or something you put
A
on,
rash
like
guard.
one of those like.
Or you could wear a t-shirt and be late.
Yeah, well,
And swims with
wet
a
T-shirt on a guy at the beach.
Yeah, not
looks,
sexy,
doesn't look
especially when
not
you
at all.
got chest hair. No.
Super extra large, like all the
With my man boobs.
hanging. I'd rather have my man boobs hanging out than wearing a T-shirt at
Yeah,
the beach. I
yeah.
don't
Well,
know.
that's it. Well, that's why you got the white, especially if it's white, because you're not going to wear a black
my
T-shirt
God.
right out in the water. You got a white one pressed up against your boobs. Sexy times, ladies. You want to call, email us, send us a Twitter message if you're looking for a. Never mind. It's not going to
A
work.
wet T-shirt contest.
Yeah, let's say
Contestant.
Yeah, me and you next week.
Maybe one day on the podcast.
I can hear them closing their
Yeah,
browser
it's like,
right now.
I'm not listening to this
yeah,
anymore.
they're clicking the X on.
We're only 14 minutes in, and we're
We've
already
already
losing
turned them off. The
listeners.
ladies
like,
are
fuck
gone.
this.
We've already lost the female demographic. Fuck.
Talking about where I thought about something when you mentioned the Gremlin. I watched a movie last night. I caught I'd say about the last 45 minutes of the movie 12 Monkeys. You ever see that movie?
Yes, I love that movie.
And I had never seen that movie.
Really?
Never watched it. I mean,
Oh, and you only caught the end.
I caught like the last, I want to say 45, 50 minutes about. And I watched it. I watched it all. I was like, because I've always kind of been interested in that movie. I knew what it was about. Brad Pitt and Bruce Willis.
Madeline Stowe, she was still in her prime.
Yeah,
back
she
then.
was.
Good-looking woman.
And this was filmed. There's one thing that I noticed about this movie. This was filmed in, I think, 95. It came out in 95, 96, I want to say.
Yeah, so
Right?
sounds about right.
Mid-90s.
Yeah, the most. Yeah.
And I was watching it and I was like, wow, this visually, that movie was like, I got not a weird feeling, but it wasn't visually pleasing. It was like, I expected more from the movie because it was like futuristic movie from the future.
But it's a very dark and bleak future.
Yeah, I guess it was. And I mean, I saw a bit from what I saw. Brad Pitt was playing like a kooky guy, like a crazy guy.
Yeah,
he did a pretty good job from the 45 minutes I saw.
Well, their
those
characters
parts
meet
of-
while Bruce Willis is sent to an insane
Yeah,
asylum.
I
and he
read the
meets Brad
the
Pitt there.
plot. Yeah,
Really good. Yeah, Brad Pitt, I think, was one of his breakout roles as far as them seeing that he could really branch out and be more than just...
not just a sexy guy without
exactly,
a T-shirt from
exactly.
Thelma and Louise type thing.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But I find that visually, I think it was shot in New York. and they were filming an outside scene. Even in the inside, the vibe, the visual of the movie, the way it was shot, the frame, not the frames, but the scenes. Like I know there was one scene where they're going up in a apartment building. The way I don't know if it was the angles, and I just thought that it was like really like. I don't remember movies much from that time. I remember a lot of movies, but I don't remember thinking like that, you know? And I remember going yesterday, I'm like, man, there's other movies that were shot before this that looked really like way more either modern or way more visually pleasing. And I just thought to myself, I'm like, this looks more like a mid-'80s movie than a mid-'90s movie, the way it was filmed. But maybe it was just...
I think it was purposely kind of done to really give you that sense of, you know, a future where they're really...
It was very bleak.
Very pessimistic outlook on what
I didn't really see any parts in the future. Everything was in the present, or more the mid-'90s present. But it made me want to watch the first half or the rest of it.
It's a pretty confusing movie too. I mean, especially if you only walked in for the last 45 minutes, you must have been scratching your head like you kind of missed the punch, the whole punch at the end.
But then I Wikipedia'd it and I read the plot, and even by reading the plot, I was like, no, I gotta watch it.
Actually, I was gonna tisk you, but I kind of did that for the last Game of Thrones book because I didn't read all of it, and then the first last season was only the first half of the book or whatever it was, so I had to read.
But you watched the show, though.
I do. I read the first two books, and then
you read the books. I didn't read the
first two, and then I cheated. Instead of reading the rest of the book, I just went on Wikipedia because I needed to know now.
On the books, yeah.
Yeah, man, it's good.
That show is pretty amazing.
It is awesome. Awesome.
Definitely one of my... Breaking Bad is coming back. You watch Breaking Bad?
Oh, yeah. That is my all-time favorite, though.
I started watching that show last year when it was in its... Well, when they were in their last season. So I caught up all the episodes like after, and I got addicted right away. I'm like, man, this show is good. There was a few seasons. I think it was either season 2. I think it got a bit slow for me. Even me and my girlfriend. For me, I was like, yeah. But then it picked up again in the last seasons and stuff. Now I'm pumped. I can't wait for it. It starts in August. It's pretty intense
now. We got the second half of the last season now
I think there's gonna be like 6 or 8 episodes.
Yeah, I think it sounds about right. I hate it when they do that. You know, they say, "Oh, we're gonna split up the last 16 episodes."
But you know, they didn't. I don't think they were planning. I think they wanted, and then they just said. I think it shot in popularity.
It's just
in
a
the
cash
last,
grab. It's making people wait and then sell more DVDs.
Let's split this in half. Wait a year, and then I think that's what they're doing.
But I pimped that show out so much. I should be collecting royalties from AMC.
Yeah,
tell everybody about that show. But same thing. A girl at work. First night I told her about it, she came home, finished the first season. I think she forgot to feed her kids supper that night. Second,
super.
I was like, "Don't you have 3 kids? How did you watch a season of Breaking Bad?" And then the next day, she tells me she went through all of season 2. So,
what's his name? Bryan
Cranston.
I saw a fucking preview from a movie that's coming out soon. He plays a Russian guy.
A Russian
in it, with the baddest motherfucking Russian accent in it. And at first he was wearing sunglasses and you can't really recognize. Check it out on IMDb.
I think he's going to be in the new... Isn't he going to be in the new RoboCop?
Yeah. He's going to be either one of the cops or one of the scientists.
I thought he was going to be the corrupt guy.
Yeah.
The one who fucked everybody over in the original one.
And the guy that got shot in his living room.
Yeah.
Or got destroyed in his living room.
The bad guy. I don't know what the hell the actors.
There's a few bad guys in the first one.
But yeah, well, the one who essentially, the one who was, it was the old dude who wasn't okay with it. The younger guy, the one who wanted to take over essentially when the robot, remember, shows up in the conference room and ends up shooting the guy. Oh, man. Oh, I love that movie. I can't imagine.
I think it's going
can't imagine what the remake's going to look like.
I think it's going to be based a lot on... I don't know. You know what I heard this week?
I heard a lot. It's going to be based on the actual situation in Detroit right now. No, actually, we were talking about Detroit going bankrupt last week. It was funny. I read an article. I think it was on Vice, comparing the new RoboCop and or the fact that RoboCop 20 some odd years ago when it was made. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, because it was
it was actually more optimistic than the actual state of Detroit right now.
They're going to save a lot of money on the background. They're going to let's just shoot in the shitty part of Detroit right now. We don't need to put props and shit. It's already...
That's it. We don't need a stage. What do they call that? They're the backdrops and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Studio. Anyway.
Let's film it live in Detroit. It already
on location.
Looks
that's
like
a term they use. On location.
Look at you.
Yeah, sometimes I have to search for words. They're hidden back there somewhere.
Fuck, something came up. Yeah, you know what I heard? Did you see the new Superman movie?
The new Superman? No, I've just heard bad things about it. So
Really, huh?
No, Bryan Cranston's not going to be in RoboCop. Oh, you know what he was in? He was in the remake of Total Recall, which I never bothered watching.
Yeah, I didn't watch. I watched a few minutes of that and was like, Colin Farrell wasn't really.
But there's a movie called Cold Comes the Night, and his character's name is Topo. That sounds, this sounds interesting.
That's the one I saw. There's a preview online.
And,
there's a preview online.
Sounds like a Chinese guy's the director.
Yeah, he plays a badass Russian.
Nice.
Anyway,
I love any role he's in. Usually,
they're building the Superman rumors for the second one is going to be like a Superman versus Batman
facing off.
Yeah. Really? I don't know if they're really going to battle each other. They're both good guys.
And Batman doesn't have any superpowers. That's why he's my favorite.
You know who's my favorite?
How does he take on Superman? He's Superman.
Yeah, Superman is badass, but my favorite is Iron Man. That's who I like. Yeah. He doesn't really
Another guy where he
Superman.
doesn't have superpowers either, right?
He's
just really smart.
suit.
And he makes a suit with his own smarts.
He's a cocky motherfucker.
He is. He's suave.
Maybe that's why I like him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Batman too, right? He kind of has that
Batman
swag
is
to him
like,
too, as when he's Bruce Wayne, right?
Fucking Batman in the movies, what makes me laugh every time is every time he puts on the suit, that voice goes down.
I'm Batman today. Yeah.
There's so much parody on it. It's the way he talks or the way he acts.
Well, Christian Bale, I mean, he's a great actor, but he's had a few roles like that. The Terminator one. I think we talked about the Terminator. He was in one of our podcasts. Like in that one, he's just screaming and kind of he's like Batman, but in overdrive. I'm John Connor.
He plays John Connor. That's it in the future.
But there's a lot of screaming in that movie.
They're doing Terminator 5 apparently.
Yeah. Well, that's what we would discuss when we had our whole Arnold conversation. That's how we started talking about Sylvester Stallone's plastic surgery. This is how we function, folks.
I saw a picture of Sylvester Stallone this week at 66. The guy looks, he puts me to shame, and I'm 32 years old. I mean, a lot of people put me to shame, but the fucking guy is ripped. And there's rumors that in TRT and all that stuff.
It's not rumors. They caught him at the airport in Australia or New Zealand. He had like a briefcase full.
But
he said,
I'm
training elephants. I'm training elephants. It's not for me. It's for my elephants.
But he looks phenomenal. So I'm kind of like going like, I don't give a fuck what he does. He's 66 years old. The shit's not going to kill him anytime soon. The guy unless he dies cocks over of a heart attack or like in the next he looks in phenomenal shape, like abs to like he's got like an 8-pack going on. Yeah, it's crazy because I'm going fuck, that guy's 66 years old.
I'm working on a keg can.
The 1-pack.
Yeah, just a 40-ounce bottle. If I could squeeze it all into one spot, but soon it'll be gone because soon I'm going to be joining you at Sherbetov, my friend.
Dude, you bought the big special.
Yeah, is that deal over?
Yeah, it was over yesterday.
To tell our listeners. Well, hopefully you guys paid attention to Facebook because we were sharing the link.
I shared it all week.
Tuango, what an awesome site.
$19.99 for 10 classes. That's a crazy. Tuango, I don't know how to do it. I didn't really speak to my coach about it, but the fact that he can put 10 classes for $19.99. That's one class. Yeah, $19.99.
Essentially, that's what I told myself. I said, like, even if it kills me and I break something in my first class, well, I still got my $19 worth in a story to tell.
That's it. So, you get 10. It was the special on Twango was 10 classes for $19.99. So basically, your choices of any classes they offer, which is, I mean, fuck. You bought 2 coupons, no?
I got 20 courses. Yeah. Plus, I got 10% off because I've got a CAA card.
They give you 10% off?
Tuango gives until July 31st, man. I'm fucking rolling Tuango deals, man. Going golfing. I'm going to find something else. I'm stocking up for my vacation on Tuango and Team.
So here's the deal.
So you stock up on coupons for golf.
Fucking go for like 15 classes, get in somewhat of a good shape, and then the last class we can spar, me and you, and we'll film it and we'll put it on the website.
That sounds like a deal.
Yeah?
Yep.
Gear you up.
Yeah, man.
Put some stuff on. We'll go at it.
That's it. I just gotta, I think I'm all right on the ground when it comes to grappling, like shoot wrestling. I mean, my brother and I used to do it.
You used to be wrestling.
So that, I mean, I have a natural instinctive feel for it. I've done it a few times. You get drunk with friends. Shoot fight. And I've done it. I've got guys into headlocks and whatnot. Put our buddy Phelps into a rear naked choke last summer, and he was
at the cabin.
Yeah. Well, we were supposed to be sparring. He was supposed to teach me a couple of things, and then he decided he wanted to try to choke me out with a guillotine. So I had to take him down with a nice double leg.
I landed a few shots on the neck that weekend.
Yes, you did. You did.
He's like, dude, I gotta stop. He had a concussion. He still wanted to go. I'm like, dude, like,
he's an animal.
Put the headgear on.
But as far as kicking and that stuff, that's where I'm not so good. I can't throw a kick to save my life.
So I do I recommend like doing like 10 Muay Thai classes. The cardio is intense, and it gets, you'll learn how to throw some kicks and some punches and stuff.
I'd like
and
to do
then
that, a little bit
MMA or whatever you want to do.
Some jiu-jitsu, wrestling. Anyway, who knows? If things work out, maybe I'll sign up long term.
That was a fucking deal. $19.99.
Plus, I get a deal if I want to sign up for 3-6 months. I can get up to another 15% off the whatever. Anyway, hopefully I'll get myself into shape. I'm giving myself 2 weeks, quit smoking, get my cardio up to par, or at least somewhat. Maybe lose a bit of the gut, a little bit of the man boobs, get a little bit of muscle, and then we're getting in the cage.
That's it. In the ring, in the cage.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait just to see that. It's going to be awesome.
Every time I walk into the new gym, it's amazing. I just go, oh, man, I'm pumped to train. It doesn't matter how tired I am. The minute I walk in, I see the ring, I see the guys. I'm like, all right, let's do this. I put on my shorts and my shirt, and I'm like, let's do this. Put the gloves on. So I went today. We fucking trained like animals today. I did about an hour and 15 minutes of Muay Thai, and I ended up sparring for like 5 rounds, MMA sparring. Guys showed up. I'm leaving, and a few guys show up, and my coach is like, hey, you want to stick around for sparring? I'm like, yeah. I saw your text. I'm like, oh, you'll be here around 3:30, 4 o'clock. I'm like, hey, I got time. So I fucking went at it, and great training today. Yeah.
Did you take anybody down, knock anybody down?
No, but I think I won all my rounds.
Yeah?
That's the goal, yeah.
Well,
I worked on my takedown and ground and pound.
That's how GSP holds on to his belt.
Huh?
That's how GSP holds on to his belt.
That's it. Wins round, right?
It works.
Yeah.
Hey, a lot of people complain. I've never been one to complain.
Check out I posted a few pictures on Facebook. You could tell I'm not that there's a guy I train with, 2 guys that were there today. They're taller and lengthy, long arms and long legs. You gotta stay on the outside.
Looking like Johns Bonds Jones. Have you met Johns Bonds Jones?
Jones Bonds.
Jones Bonds.
So I try to stay on the outside, and I just end up going inside, grappling, bringing him down, and putting my fat carcass or
yeah.
They probably weigh around 170, 185,
the old Roy
190.
Nelson.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? I ended up doing that trick there where the crucifix.
The crucifix,
I did that a few times today. I work on that.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's got to be pretty hard to get out of.
Yeah, it's you got to make a mistake. The guy on top has to make a mistake.
Pretty much, right?
in order to, either he's not posting right or he gets overzealous when he's punching in the face. The guy, he's strong. He can bump his hips up and then flip you over.
Sacrifice your face, take a few shots.
If you get caught in that, you have to okay, I'm gonna take a few shots in the face right now.
Let it
but
get
I
comfortable
have to get out,
and try to get out when he swings. When he gets overzealous, like you say, punch too many.
I got caught a few times getting sweeped and stuff today. So there's a few things I have to work. There's a lot of things I have to work on. But today was a great sparring day. I love Saturdays. I always end up sparring or Muay Thai class. So it was fucking great. So
I'm pumped. I'm anxious. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So good. I can't wait to see you in class. Hopefully. Yeah. Like I said, they offer day class. So if you want to check it out before you go to work, I think that'd be
well, it'll have to be a day thing before work or on weekends, I guess, because I work till 10:30. So.
Yeah, so day and then maybe come out on during the weekend.
Yeah,
Saturday,
well, we could do maybe a thing.
Saturday morning.
We train and then we podcast.
And then podcast.
Might as well.
Sweaty and stinky. Dude, you know
what
I
just... showers there?
Yeah, they do have showers, bro. I don't shower. I shower home.
Shower
I live 5 minutes away.
I'm
like,
true.
Fuck that.
I'm not going to shower with you, though.
No, shower.
I'll shower at the gym. You can shower here. Or hose myself off in the back. You got a hose? Give me a bucket.
Yeah, I'll show you.
give me a bucket.
I got a pressure washer. How about that?
Oh, Jesus, man. Those things hurt. Somebody did that to me. I've had that happen to me a few times. Smart asses with the Simonizer.
Yeah. Right in the it fucking hurts,
leaves a
man.
mark,
yeah.
Man, let me tell you. It'll leave a
fucking
bruise.
Hole, man.
Yeah, man. Well, that's how the police control crowds, right? Pretty much with a hose.
That and beanbag bullets or what the fuck they do, man.
I've been fortunate enough to never have been shot with any of those.
How about you? I've been fortunate enough not to be in any situations where I need to get shot at.
What, you never been at a St. Patrick's Day parade, man?
Holy fuck, I have not. And that no, I haven't been. I've been in Montreal for 5 years. Yeah, I know.
You haven't lived.
Is that what happens at a St. Patrick's parade?
Well, it just gets so wild that at any moment anything could happen. There's so many cops. There's so many people running around with alcohol.
Didn't one of our friends get in a fight a few years ago?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've witnessed a few.
I'm not gonna mention any names. Maybe he doesn't want it out.
We've had a few. I had a couple of friends who ended up getting arrested.
Oh shit, man.
Sometimes you're just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Sometimes
or the right place. I like to call it the right place at the right time when it goes your way, right?
When it goes your way. When you're sitting in the back of a cop car.
With a bloody nose and a fat lip and a black eye. That's not fucking fun.
No, not fun. Not fun.
I sat in the back of a cop car a few times in my life. Once for, I'm not proud of this, but I got caught driving while under the influence.
I thought you were going to say you were selling your body.
I wish. And the cop let me off. He drove me home.
Oh,
I was back home in little town. So he's like,
town.
listen, I'll give you a break. You park your car here and I'll drive you home.
Oh, that's cool.
I got my license suspended for 24 hours.
Oh, well, that was cool of him. You learned your
lesson.
lesson.
Not proud of that. And I do not condone drinking and driving. That's
important as nobody got hurt. You learn your lesson.
Thing,
the problem is people, and I know firsthand from people that I know, they get a chance, a first chance, a second chance, and they just don't learn.
It's the dumbest thing if you think about it. There's people that kill people while they're sober and just driving,
There is. There's tons of shitty drivers that are, 100% sober. But
I live in Montreal. They're all over the fucking place here.
Regardless.
No, not at all. And I've sat in
There's enough shitty and crazy drivers out there. Let's not make it any more complicated for the people out there on the road.
It's never a nice place to be sitting down. Let's just say when you're in there and the guy's questioning you.
No.
I've been put in that situation a few times. Hopefully I'll never. I say hopefully. You got to live a little bit. If sitting in the back of a cop car,
listen.
As long as I don't kill anybody or injure anybody, and
listen, I'm sure you grew a couple of more chest hairs that day.
Jeez,
a
few streaks in my underwears too.
Oh, jeez.
Sometimes when the cops is chasing you and stuff, and after a while you gotta stop.
That's why I just play Grand Theft Auto.
When you see the cop lights go on, you're like, oh shit, you got a mini heart attack. You know what I mean? It's like, whoa. I gotta check my shorts.
Yeah.
So, I want to talk about something. You know what I discovered this week? My son, by the way, loves it. Adventure Time. You ever see that show?
Yes. Well, I'm the one who actually told you about it. Yes.
Somebody else told me about it, but you're the one that told me about it.
Well, yeah, I think you had mentioned somebody brought it up. Actually, it's pretty big coincidence because in Quebec, a friend I was with, her daughter and herself are actually into Adventure Time big time.
Really?
So as a special souvenir, we went to this awesome shop that no matter whether you're into sports, whether you're into comic books, into medieval stuff, cartoons, they've got collector's items for everyone. So we went and we found her the Jake the dog, a hat that's actually got his face and it's kind of like furry and the back's got a little tail. And we got her a little stuffed Jake. And for my friend, I got her this gigantic coffee mug that's got all the characters. And she absolutely loves it. And the guy was so into it as well and was so excited, I guess, that she was into it and had a daughter. He actually gave us the catalog that he orders the stuff from. He says you can order the stuff yourself if you want. Tons of stuff. So needless to say, when we got back and we gave her the hat and little stuffed Jake, she
loved it. She
jumping
was
up and down. She was ecstatic. Absolutely.
You spoke to me about it, and I heard it somewhere else. So I knew I had it on Netflix. Mm-hmm. So my son was like, was it last Sunday or I don't remember. I was like, let's watch something else. He always wants to. Once he locks onto a show, it's like, I want to watch this all day, every day, Yeah. So I'm like, let's watch something else. And so I'm like, I put it on. I put the first episode of the first season, and I sit there with him because I knew the shit was gonna be fucked up. Because I had heard it was like, whoever writes this is on an acid trip, The first thing I notice in the credits is a flying rainbow dragon or some shit. I'm like, yeah, this shit looks fucking weird. And I sat there and I watched the first episode, and it's only like 12 minutes an episode.
Yeah, they're short.
So they're short. So it's like it keeps. And I was like, wow, this is.
It's out there. And did you see what I mean? There's kind of a lesson to be learned for the kids. There in most of the episodes I've seen anyway, there's usually a moral
there's
to the
always
story.
a moral, and if you simplify the moral, it's fine. But as an adult, you kind of read into it a little bit more. You get more of the innuendos.
Well, that's it, exactly. Yeah. And then for us, the adults, we get the little innuendos and the little jokes in between.
My son doesn't understand that, but I get it.
But the Muppet Show was like that when we were kids. You can watch the Muppet Show now, and you'll probably laugh more now, I think, as an adult, because there was a lot of adult humor. squeezed in there. Nothing
I believe-
too crude, but still just enough to keep the
I
parents.
think they probably built it that way because they knew parents after a while are gonna have to watch that show and not want to shoot themselves in the face. Because there's a few shows that my son watches which are based. There's no innuendos, nothing. Is just for kids, and I'm like, holy shit! Like this is like, can we change
ain't
the
no
channel?
parents enjoying Teletubbies or
No.
do they even still exist, those Teletubbies?
No, I don't think
Or
so.
that
They
whole
have-
controversy with the purple one being gay or
Gay,
not?
yeah.
Just
They have weirder shit on there.
people stop watching.
You know, they have a cartoon on the Disney Channel called, oh fuck, why do I forget? I've seen it so much. Anyway, that guy from the '70s show is the guy that makes the voice of it. Wilmer
Valderrama. Oh, really?
Valderrama, and
Wilmer
it's just weird because I remember when we first started watching this show, I was like, man, that voice sounds familiar. I'm like, who is this? And then
Hey,
you know,
that's
me and my
fast.
Google, it takes about 30 seconds for me to jump on Google and check it out, you know. And
It's a curse and a blessing, the internet.
yeah, and my girlfriend swears at me all the time. Like yesterday's same thing. I was like, oh, the minute a question comes out, I'm not sure. There it is. The picture go up. It's called Handy Manny.
Handy Manny.
Yeah, that fucking show drives me insane. He's the voice of the, and it's like a Spanish/English.
Oh, he's
So they
kind of like Dora. Wasn't Dora
Yeah.
kind of like that?
Yeah, they speak. He'll say something in Spanish and then repeat it in English, which drives me insane. I don't have anything in Spanish. It's just he'll say it in English and then I get it. I get why. It's just like, oh shit, like please change. He doesn't watch it as much anymore. When he was younger, he used to love that show.
So that's what Wilder Valderrama's up to
He's
now?
up to. He works for
what
the
he's
Disney
doing.
Channel. He's probably making a shitload of money doing it too, right?
Probably.
The guy was on 70
Making more than
shows.
I am.
Dated Lindsay Lohan. Did
Did he
Yo
really?
Mama
During
on
the-
MTV
During her good days?
during her somewhat
Somewhat.
during her transition from she's cute to
cute redhead.
she's trash.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
I used to have a
bag.
huge crush on Lindsay Lohan.
yeah, well.
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls,
She was
yeah.
like, yeah, she's of age. I can verbally say how hot she is, right?
I could
That's
say
okay.
that out loud, right?
Last year, maybe I sound like a pedophile, but no, not much anymore. And I remember watching that movie, and I'm going, yeah. There was another hot chick in that movie, Rachel McAdams.
Yes.
Also.
Yes, that's true.
And I'm going, yeah, this chick, she's gonna make it big. And then after that, the drugs and the partying and the boozing kicked in, and her face just like,
Yeah. Imagine, eh? Lindsay Lohan, Rachel McAdams in the same movie, and look at them now.
holy
Wow.
shit. Rachel McAdams is still pretty hot.
Quite the difference. Yeah, and I don't think she's a coke-whore.
No, she's pretty quiet on that front, right?
So far as
He dated
as
her
we-
for a
so
while,
far
and
we
then
know.
he did. I remember when I went to Cuba like 4 or 5 years ago. Oh, more than that. Sorry. Yeah, way longer than that. We were watching MTV. We caught MTV in our room, and we used to watch the Yo Mama. You ever see that on MTV? It's like Yo Mama jokes. Like
Oh,
Face
that was
Off.
what Wilner
It was
Valderrama too.
him,
Yeah. Yeah, I caught that on
Oh
vacation too. I
my
think the only time I saw it
God.
was when I was on vacation in
Maybe they
Cuba
only
or
played in other
Cancun.
countries. They're like,
Probably.
fuck that. We're not playing this
Yeah,
on.
it was so
on
bad. MTV USA didn't even.
Oh
take it.
my
You know
God.
that's bad when they don't even accept.
They would have these two guys face off, or girls too. I don't remember, and it was just
Yeah.
Yo Mama jokes, and
Yeah.
then people would vote.
Yeah,
and
it's
people,
kind of boring after 3 minutes.
yeah,
Mama jokes in here. Fuck, we heard them all already.
make them up and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they have a winner and a champion at the end of the
Nothing like
thing.
ad-libbing a joke when you're not funny. And
No.
it's just the same
he-
bad joke over and over again.
I don't know. I think he's that character that just never took off. You know,
Yeah, no, he was a one-trick pony. You know, you look
he
back
was
and
funny in the '70s shows, but
yeah, but
after
I
a
don't
while,
know
he
about
gets
you,
old.
but yeah, you watch that '70s show now and you realize it was pretty tacky. It was pretty
It was.
cheesy. A lot of it was contrived, and the jokes weren't that funny, but it was cool. It was hip. They made references to weed and whatnot. So as a teenager watching it, it was cool. You know, we all kind of wish we were '70s kids or teenagers.
That would have been
in a
fun,
way. It
but,
would have been fun.
And '70s, '80s.
Yeah,
I wish I could just skip that
you know,
whole
like,
'80s
well,
thing.
fuck,
Yeah, I
already
don't know.
being a kid in the '80s was all right, but you know, I think it would have sucked if we were older. Imagine going out clubbing in the '80s. Bah,
Imagine the clothes we had to wear and the hairdos we had to, just to keep.
I
Oh
see.
my
I have some older
God.
friends, and I see their pictures from the '80s. Where it's flock of
I
seagulls.
I consider myself a
For real.
'90s kid, right? Because I was born in 1980. So
Oh,
I
yeah, we
guess I
were a
was
kid
young,
through
yeah.
the '80s. I mean, yeah, I was born in '81,
remember
but I mean, we were '90s teenagers.
Yeah. That was the 90s were not so bad.
90s were cool. Early 90s were my favorite for music, for movies.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much. Well, even TV. Comedies, anyway. I think The Simpsons started, Seinfeld
Dude,
started.
when I was a kid, it was
Early
the
90s.
sitcoms
Gangster
were the
rap
best.
was at its peak.
Gangster rap, even grunge music made
Grunge music was huge.
Nirvana,
Was still
9 Inch
good.
Nails and stuff. All
When
that
everyone
stuff.
else, before all the clones showed up, like Creed and Nickelback.
Creed. I can't stand that. I had that CD in my car, my first cars, played over and over
I had
again.
the first one too.
Fuck.
We all did. We all ordered it on a Columbia House. It's okay. Whenever I look back and I see an old bad CD in my collection, I say it's okay. It was a freebie from BMG or Columbia House.
I remember that. That doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Probably not. I don't know how that
Nobody
company made
buy-
any money, man. You know how many times I unsubscribed and resubscribed to get those?
Is that how it
CDs?
worked? I never used it. Never
I'd
tried
fulfill
it.
my 6 CDs and do it again, and then you'd wait for the right time to do it, and then you'd get like an extra bonus, whatever. It was just insane. I mean, I was a 12-year-old kid, and they were sending me CDs in the mail for a penny. Like there was just no thought process for that company. It was like, whoever fills out this little cardboard thing that we attach in music magazines and sends it back to us. Well,
That was
they don't need a credit card number. That's fine. We'll trust that they'll send us a check in the mail.
Oh my
I
god!
didn't have a credit card number.
I didn't have a credit card.
I know.
Fuck.
exactly.
How
They were
old
letting
was
me
I
sign
when
up.
that was existing?
Sure as hell, my mother sure as hell wasn't giving me her credit card number.
Jesus Christ.
And somehow I managed to sign up.
It happened, and you got some free shit.
Yeah, tons.
Really?
And then once I got a double shipment, so I brought them to Future Shop or HMV, and then got an
You
exchange
trade them
them,
in?
and I got more. I got more music.
Jesus.
I'm mischievous.
How
like
the
that.
fuck did they make money? Well, Columbia is like Sony, no?
Yeah,
Columbia.
I guess. Well, at a certain point, it seemed like it was just all the shitty leftovers that you'd find in the bargain bin anyway.
Dude, did you see this? I was reading my notes there from this week. I saw a video that made me freak the fuck out. It's this woman. She pulls this grown ass woman.
Oh, the tantrum in the car because they can't go to the lake.
Holy fuck!
That dude is my new hero.
He dumped her.
He dumped her, but he
Thank
played
God.
it so cool throughout that whole
He was
ordeal.
laughing. He's laughing at her.
laughing it off and staying calm.
If you haven't seen, listeners and viewers, if you haven't seen this video, there's a video. I saw it on CNN. It's on YouTube.
It's
Just
viral
type
at this
in
point.
wife
You'll
tantrum.
Yeah, you'll find it right away.
On Google, it comes out. There's the guy, this woman basically in a car pulls a fucking tantrum because her husband or boyfriend says that he has shit to do, so he can't bring her to the lake.
Yeah,
He
he's
can't
got to
go
get his
the
car. He's
lake.
got to get his
Yeah.
truck fixed because
Yeah.
he's got stuff to do as well.
And he fucking uses his phone from his hip or whatever, turns it on, and he films the whole thing. And the girl loses her shit. But I'm talking like kicking and screaming.
Like a baby. Like
She's
a
like, what?
5-year-old.
Oh my God. And she's like, what? She's like late 20s, early 30s?
I guess more or
I
less
think
30
they
years
said her
old.
age in the thing. I saw
Either
that
way,
video
she's a
and I'm
full-grown
like,
adult.
oh my God. Like, how is that woman feeling right now is my question.
Pretty stupid, I would hope.
Like, you think she's going to like look at herself now and go, maybe I need to change a few things like that?
I think that was a life-defining moment.
Holy
Sure.
fuck.
Sure. Absolutely.
Oh, what's this?
Oh, we got a little pop-up on the screen. Anything happen?
CNN.
CNN.
River, Hudson River leaving
Zimmerman
bride
still
to be.
innocent.
Fuck Zimmerman. Fuck that whole Zimmerman trial,
Oh,
man.
man. You ever... I'm on CNN a lot. I try to
Yeah.
keep up with the headlines on
Every
CNN.
day I check it out, yeah.
But do you ever bother reading the user comments below?
Nah. Same thing as the YouTube.
Dude, you ever want to feel better about being a Canadian? Do it. Because you will see some absolutely ignorant and just straight up racist stuff on those comments.
Same thing as YouTube, I guess. Huh?
Nobody seems worse than any.
Oh,
it
yeah?
seems like
On
every site's
CNN?
at least got a moderator to a certain extent will, oversee things and delete stuff that will offend people. And let me tell you, I read tons of stuff and I don't get offended, but man, like, wow, how are they letting people type some of this shit?
Wow.
Like, especially with the whole, racial profiling,
yeah.
blah, 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 all the connotations that were attached to the Zimmerman trial. Like, man, some people were just showing their true colors and it wasn't pretty, man.
The whole Zimmerman trial to me was I didn't really speak out about it to anybody, or like I didn't make any comments on Facebook. I didn't make any comments on Twitter. I didn't speak about it. Number one, because I find as a Canadian, or should I say as a non-American, when anything happens in the States, I don't really understand their laws and their way of life enough to just go and I don't want to criticize them. I want to be like neutral, So when somebody asks me, oh, the Zimmerman, are you are you against or for Zimmerman, or are you more on the Trayvon Martin side? And I was like, you know what? I not that I didn't read about it, not that I didn't do anything about it, but I'm the knowledge of the way things work in certain states, especially in Florida,
especially in Florida.
And here's another thing. I'm white. I'm white.
Yeah.
I'm not black. Okay. The thing that makes me laugh is that I think a lot of black people attach themselves directly to this case, because you're right. I'm not saying there wasn't any racial profiling, but what people need to realize that, yeah, Zimmerman might be a Jewish last name, but the guy was fucking Spanish. The guy's not white. He's Spanish. And when I'm not saying you can't be any racial profiling from one ethnicity or one race from another, Spanish, white people, or anything, but I think the media played into it. They're like, how are we going to sell this fucking story?
Yeah.
And I think by pushing the race thing, it was a big issue.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
I think the people that now I got to give props to people that didn't riot. They did protest, but no rioting. There was no violence or anything. They were unhappy with the verdict. They went out there, and even there was a juror that even said on CNN that she thinks that Zimmerman did get away with murder.
Yeah, well, it was that particular article that had all kinds of crazy comments, and that's where I just
it's pretty
kept
sad
reading,
that when
it was like watching a car crash. Like I just kept, where's this conversation? And you see this person's replying to this person. I'm like, where's this going to go to? And it was just straight up black versus white, and it just turned into, I mean, a lot of nasty stuff. So yeah, it's like you say, media's got to spin the story somehow. This one I think would have
fucking
spun on
latch
its own.
on to it, and it's like, and especially the black community, and I don't blame them, but if it would have been two white people in the situation, I think it would have been spun totally differently.
I don't think it would have made the headlines.
It wouldn't have made the headlines.
It wouldn't have.
But at the end of the day, people need to realize that it's a human being that killed another human being. Doesn't matter the color of their skin.
No.
And that's what upset me about it. And that's why I refrained from saying anything, because I was like, I don't want to, I'm white. I've no attachment to it. So it was more like, don't say something you're either going to regret. Like, I have opinions about it, but again, I'm smart enough to realize that I may not be educated on the case and on the laws and how things are. I don't live in a country where you can have a concealed weapon. I don't. If I get caught with a concealed weapon, I'm going to fucking jail, And so I think it's a bit different. I didn't really want to say anything. Nobody really brought it up with me. I think it's, so anyway, but you're right. Like I don't read comments on the thing, but there's a lot of ignorant people that all spend their days on boards and just, it's the same thing on YouTube. It's the same thing on CNN. It's the same thing on MMA websites. When I read, I have a friend that gets a laugh out of reading all the comments.
Oh, I do on like SureDog. I view the message board all the time. I maybe posted 5 times in the last 6 years. But let me tell you, I have fun reading the arguments some people get into. Sometimes it's great because you'll get some good opinions and whatnot. But sometimes it's just straight up
ignorant bullshit.
Ignorant bullshit. Like on the playground.
People find. I think people are like, I can say whatever the fuck I want because I'm sitting in front of my computer.
Exactly. Keyboard warriors, right? They call them. Yeah.
But if you were face to face, you wouldn't say a fucking word. Yeah. It's the same thing that happens when you're in your car and you're separated with metal and glass and somebody else cuts you off and you're like, motherfucker, you fucking scream. I hope you fucking die. And the people lose their shit.
Until the guy hits the brakes in front of you and gets out of his car. Then what do you do, right?
When you're face to face, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't turn to the next person next to you and go, fuck you, You're like, you learn to drive. You'd be a little bit more quiet. So yeah, when the person in front of you, I've done that I've opened the doors a few times and people scream at me. Yeah. I'll stop at a red light and the guy's swearing at me behind. I'll be like, yeah, dude. So I just open the door and I step in. I did that at a fucking parking. I was at a restaurant. I had a parking right closer to the door, and the guy was parked in a parking behind right here. He's driving his fucking Mercedes, this old dude, 60, 50, 60s, like this corporate guy. He's parking, he backs up into his parking. This car gets out of the parking. As I'm showing up, I'm like, oh, perfect, a parking. This guy sees the parking, which is fucking from here to the door here. He's like, spot. Fuck that. He goes to run as I'm pulling in. He wants to be close to the door, but I sneak in. He almost hits my car. My son's in the back, my girlfriend. I lose my shit. I'm hungry. I hadn't eaten in a while. I'm like,
so you ate him?
Yeah, dude.
Oh, come on.
I got out of it because I'm parking, right? The guy pulls out. I come out. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And he fucking goes and gives me some lip and starts yapping at me as he's backing back up in his thing. I'm like, I told my girlfriend, I was like, grab the kid, get in the restaurant. I'm like, I'll be right back. She's like, oh shit. She's like, don't do anything stupid, right? So I fucking straight walk to the guy. He's in his car, and as I'm walking towards, you could see in his face, he's like, oh shit, what did I do? I walk right up to his door and I go, what the fuck, dude? You have a fucking parking right here. You're trying to steal my parking. What the fuck was that? Oh, dude, I didn't see you. I'm sorry, whatever, man. I'm just sorry. And he couldn't even look at me. I'm like, just fucking stop being an asshole, all right? And I walked away. He stayed in his car till I walked into the restaurant. I could see it fiddle with his radio. He was all nervous and shit.
Oh, I like this song.
Yeah,
it's Bananarama.
Like, what the fuck? The minute I walked in, I saw him take his belt off and walk into the restaurant, was next. I walked to another restaurant. He didn't walk into the same one, but I was like, stop being a douchebag. People are like so like, oh, they
how
puff up
awkward would it have been? He was going to the same restaurant and gets seated at the table right next to you.
I would have given the stink eye all night.
All night.
I would have sent him a drink here.
Yeah.
Fucking drink up, buddy. You need it. You seem like you need it.
Yeah.
I needed it too.
You need
probably.
to relax. Yeah, probably.
Fuck
so
that.
Speaking of fighting, and since we are,
let's do it.
We're going to try to keep it within our original time constraints.
52 minutes. So let's for the last segment, I guess, of the podcast. Let's do UFC on Fox 8 tonight.
We're already up to 8 UFC on Fox.
That's. You think that's a lot?
How? Well, it seems
when did they sign it?
I think it started about a year and a half ago, right? It started December.
Yeah,
it was.
Keep talking.
It was December of 2011. It was Velasquez versus Dos Santos, where Dos Santos knocked out Velasquez in a minute and a half. And the people at Fox said, "What the fuck was that all about?"
When was that?
That was back in December 2011. So they've had 8 in about just over a year and a half now. So tonight we get was it the poor little flyweights? They always get thrown on these cards. They never get the main spot at the pay-per-view.
No,
I don't think they're ready for it.
They're trying to build the brand. Number one, they're trying to build up that division, and they don't have a plethora of fighters to choose from.
Fancy word. I love that word. I try to throw that word in whenever I get a chance to.
Plethora. I don't even know what it means.
An abundance.
Yeah,
abundance is a good word too. It's fun. It's fun to say abundance. But yeah, so we get the flyweights.
Flyweights as the I got it.
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse as the main event.
Demetrius Johnson. John Moraga.
I always enjoy the 125s. Yeah. They're always entertaining. They're super fast. It's like, don't blink. There's no power involved, so you're like, the chance of getting
unless you're watching John Dodson fight, maybe.
Yeah, he fought for he was Johnson's last opponent, and he did good for the first 2 rounds, and then after that, Johnson figured him out.
But he's going to get better. He's going to get better. Of course. But he's one of the rare guys that's got that knockout power in that division.
Yeah. And he's exciting to watch a little bit more. And I think they don't have a lot of fighters. They get put. They're not going to be put on a UFC event pay-per-view. No. They're putting them on this Fox, and it's a good thing because Fox needs to put an entertaining fight. Like if you look down the fucking
I agree, but to the average person,
no,
they don't care about the little guys,
and they don't know them as much.
They don't know them. I barely know who John Moraga is.
John Moraga,
he's had 2 UFC fights, I think only.
This is his 3rd fight. He's 19-1, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Is that what he is?
14-1, I think.
13-1.
Wait, who did he beat? He beat Chris Carrasco was his last win?
Chris Carrasco, Ulis Gomez, which Ulis Gomez used to be, I remember watching him fight in another organization, which was, he was supposed to be one of the top flyweights, and he didn't really pan out in the UFC too well, but I don't know what the other names. I'm looking down the line. His only loss is to John Dodson, actually, back in 2010.
Yeah.
But I watched the countdown show. I saw he's like a a badass from West Arizona or West Phoenix, and he looks like a fighter. He's got the mentality of a fighter. His childhood, I don't think he got an easy childhood. He's a little bit of a rough childhood, but he's got potential. Is he going to beat Johnson? I don't think so. I think Johnson is just, he's the champ. He's got the experience. It's a main event, and I think he's just going to.
Yeah, Johnson doesn't fight. He's not a risky fighter. He's not a risk taker. He's quick. He's quick
in and out. He'll use his wrestling if he
can use his wrestling if he has to. Yeah,
he'll use his kicks, and I think he'll mostly.
He could determine the pace and where the match is going to take place, right? Whether it's standing.
I don't
or
think
on the mat.
you have to worry about stamina when it comes to these 125.
No. I don't think I've ever heard that as a question. Anyway,
stamina and pace, I think, is a different question. I think Johnson can put a pace on Moroga that's gonna keep him maybe off his game plan and just try to counterpunch him. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not. I've seen Johnson fight a few times, even when he was fighting at 135, and I think he's good enough to be champ for a bit. I can't see it. Maybe Benavidez. Maybe he's the only guy I think, is it Benavidez?
Yeah, Joseph Benavidez, maybe. Yeah, I don't think McCall can answer. I mean,
I love McCall.
I love him too, but he can't compete with him on the mat. And
I think it's a mental thing with him. He was the best flyweight in the world.
He was, when he was in the Taichi fight.
Yeah. And I read an interview with him yesterday, and he said that mentally he's fighting soon. Hopefully he gets back in the winning column.
Definitely has one of the best nicknames in
Uncle Creepy.
Mixed martial arts. Uncle Creepy.
I follow him on Instagram, and he's hilarious. I like him as a fighter as well. I hope he really can. I'd like to see him champ one day.
Yeah,
I think he deserves it.
Yeah, he'd be fun. He's a great personality, and seems to be a pretty good guy.
Yeah. It's a fighter.
A guy you want to have a beer with. Sounds like he's got a lot of stories.
People don't realize, but in order to be a professional fighter, there's something. You can't be a regular person. There's something in your brain that's got to be different or a bit fucked up. It's a fucking hard. Like when you step into that cage or you step into that ring, even when not just the fighting aspect of it. But when you train, you got to fucking push yourself. Every time you're in the gym, you got to put yourself in the gym 5-6 times a week, even some guys even more. And the aspects and the different, it's hard. And it's not for everybody. And a lot of fighters are kooks, if you can use that word. They're characters.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of which, I mean, apart from the main event of Johnson and Moraga for the title at 125, I mean, the other big fight, I guess, the only really significant fight, which is a potential number one contender
to me,
fight.
This is the main event for me.
This is the main event. Rory McDonald versus Jake Ellenberger. This is the fight
that I want to see.
And speaking of fighters that are a little kooky, a little out there.
A little psychotic.
Rory McDonald, who I've heard countless times, if this guy was not a mixed martial artist, he would probably be a serial killer.
Oh my god! He said last week that he was not psycho. He says I am
weird,
not.
Though, and I don't know. Have you ever crossed him in the gym? I don't know if you ever bumped into him.
No, he was when I trained at TriStar. He
wasn't there.
Hanging around TriStar, he wasn't there.
I've heard some stories from a buddy who's bumped into him a couple of times.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, he's every bit as weird, I think, as most people think he is, and he's kind of very quiet, right? He gets in the ring and.
Even in interviews,
goes about his thing, and he's very boring. He kind of talks and he gives his interviews, and you're like, yeah, And
I think it's I think people. I truly believe. Listen, like I said 2 minutes ago, the way a fighter thinks. There's so much things going in your mind, and plus you're fighting, you're getting punched in the face. It takes something fucked up for you to go, I'm going to go to the gym today, I'm going to get hit in the face.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people that can do that, you know what I mean? A lot of people think they can do that. There's a lot of people that show up at the gym, I'll tell you right now, they're like, I was training at this other gym and with this guy and then you show up and then they train and they go, you never see them again. And like, what the fuck happened to this guy? He came in, I thought he was a fighter. And then,
did you ever see anybody stop after taking a first shot to the face? Like just,
I don't do that for me. No, you know what? I've seen guys come all pumped to the gym and they're like, man, I can't wait to start. Then you go through the warm-up 15 minutes you're dead tired after the warm-up. They're like, holy fuck, this is hard. And then we start technique, and then they spar, and then they're like, where's the guy? He's out. He's either gone for water every 5 minutes, and it's like, there's guys that realize, and you have to realize that early on. When I started 7-8 years ago, the minute I stepped onto the grappling mat, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. There was no question. The first time I grappled with somebody, I'd been boxing for a few months before, but the first time I grappled with somebody, I was like, dude, this is, I'm not, sounds gay a little bit, but it's not, you know? It's like, there's just like, holy shit. And the first time I stepped foot in a real MMA gym and I saw people around, I'm like, this is where I want to spend the majority of my time.
Yeah.
And there's such a big commitment. And I think people don't realize the commitment, and they don't realize that they see it on TV and they go, well, fuck, it looks easy. Yeah, it looks easy. Oh, yeah, dude, I'm in good shape. Yeah, you're in good shape. Yeah, okay,
really?
you're in
People
good shape.
Really, well, looks easy. I don't know.
I think
I've never
that's how
thought to
they see it.
myself it looks easy, but yeah, I can imagine most people.
I step into the gym.
Like, oh, yeah, I could do that.
And I have my friends and I have the people that I mingle with before classes and stuff, during classes, my teammates and stuff. And there's I see new guys come in sometimes, and I'm like, I always like, hey, how's it going? What's your name? I'm always nice and stuff to people. I try to tell them, like, you know, but I think some people, they don't really realize how hard it is.
Yeah.
You got guys that come in, they know, or they don't really expect anything, and they just push through, and then you realize they've been there for 3 months and they're getting better, and you're like, oh shit, this guy's serious about it.
Yeah.
This guy's serious about it. You'll get guys that'll sign up for a month, and after their month is up, you're like, where's that guy? You remember the guy that used to come to class? Yeah, he's not here anymore. Because they realize that, yeah, maybe it's not that easy.
The guy with the fight or die tattoo on his chest. What happened to fight or die, dude?
Or the no fear tattoo on his back, you know? Like, what the fuck, you know? But it's not for everybody, but, I mean, there's different aspects, too. You can come to the gym just to get in shape, just to learn how to self-defense and stuff.
Yeah.
Or you can come to the gym and learn to fight because you want to fucking punch people in the face, or you're going to get punched in the face, or you want it, that aspect. It's competition wise, there's nothing like it. You step into the ring, you step into the cage, there's nobody else there. It's not a team thing, it's you. It's whatever your coach showed you, or you're just in there in the moment, and you try to think, okay, so how do I do this? And
so you're totally stepping into another world when you walk through those doors.
It's a bit of surreal sometimes.
You kind of forget everything else that you have going on in your life.
You have to, because
that's what I'm looking for. I look forward to
through experience. I guarantee you, some days I go into the gym and I'm stuck sparring, and there's other stuff in the back of my head. I've been destroyed by beginners because there's something else on my mind.
Focus,
nah, you have to 100%. When you're in the gym, you're in the gym. There's nothing else on the outside that exists. You're in the gym, especially when you're sparring, especially when you're training with high caliber athletes and guys that have been doing it for a while. You gotta be on your A game. Nice. So yeah, back to this UFC on A.
So is Rory McDonald gonna be on his A game? I think. Listen, he is.
I'm a Rory McDonald fan first because he's Canadian. Like, give it that. You know, I'm a GSP fan, not really because GSP is
like
different.
Root for our own. We don't have many of them.
Rory McDonald is 11-1.
Sounds about right. Well, he's trying to avenge his own
14-1. Okay.
Yeah.
Carlos Condit is the only guy that beat him, and
Carlos Condit. That's right.
Yeah, and let's face it, he beat him, but Rory McDonald was win. Like, it doesn't mean anything. There's a loss is a loss is a loss, but he did. No, I wouldn't say dominate Condit for the first 2 rounds in their fight, but he definitely was winning those rounds. Now, Jake Ellenberger is a motherfucker. He's a beast. He hits hard.
A hell of a punch. Yeah.
He hits hard. He's a wrestler that can drag you to the ground. But Rory McDonald is a big motherfucker. He's a big 170. He's young. He's dynamic, technical. Man, at 170, if you look at his technique, his striking techniques, his ground and pound, he's a pure mixed martial artist.
Yep.
Pure.
Yep. Absolutely.
I wouldn't say there's no hole in his game, but he's not better at striking. I can't really pinpoint what he's stronger at. He's just a all around pure mixed martial artist. You can tag Ellenberger as a wrestler and then a striker.
Yeah.
He's a wrestler first, being a collegiate wrestler. So you know that if the stand-up doesn't go well for Ellenberger, he can always switch it up to his wrestling. But the thing is, Rory McDonald,
he's a pretty damn good wrestler,
he's a good wrestler, and his jiu-jitsu game, I don't think has been that. I don't think we've had a chance to see his jiu-jitsu game that much.
No, not really.
So it leaves you to wonder, maybe if he lands on his back. But there's no denying that if Ellenberger lands a hard shot like he did on Marquardt in Montreal. I saw Ellenberger fight live when I was in Montreal. I saw that I went to with my buddy. And dude, he landed a big shot. Landed Marquardt was, he finished him. And Ellenberger hits hard. He's got great wrestling. His striking is crisp. He's evolved. Every fight I see Ellenberger, he just keeps getting better and better. But Rory McDonald keeps getting better and better.
And he's just 24 years old. It's amazing to think. Kid's already got 14 fights under him.
So to me, it's a flip of a switch for that fight. It's like I'll pick Rory to win. I'd say Rory wins by unanimous decision, maybe. I don't think he might.
Yeah,
if he finishes, maybe I guess. Yeah.
I would agree too. I don't think this one we're going to see a finish.
So I think I'll go with Rory and 3 rounds unanimous decision. I think he's gonna be able to win on the feet and avoid the takedowns.
The thing with Rory McDonald is, after watching his fight against BJ Penn, either he purposely did not knock him out and just play with him for those 2 rounds after.
We've never seen any real power with him.
But no, I don't know.
In the UFC, I'm talking about
finishing power. I mean, he'll
land a lot of strikes, but he doesn't land a lot of power
on Shea
strikes.
Mills, but apart from Joe Rogan being all over his nuts, I mean,
all over whose nuts?
Shea Mills.
I don't remember that. I remember the fight. I don't remember.
I remember Joe Rogan pimping the shit out of Shea Mills as a legitimate threat.
Is he cutting now?
I probably, because I never even heard of the guy before.
He's a UK guy.
He's a UK guy, and they were trying to push him. And I mean, he's not young either. He's a 31, 32-year-old veteran. So apart from that fight, no, I haven't seen that killer instinct from.
Here's the thing that worries me.
It'd be awesome to see, but I don't think he'll be knocking out Jake Ellenberger. If we do see a finish, it'll be Ellenberger doing the finish.
Yeah. Here's the thing that worries me about Rory. In his last 4 fights, he's fought 2 155ers. In BJ Penn. Not only was BJ Penn a 155er, but BJ Penn was at the end of his rope, not in his prime anymore.
I know he's notoriously hard to finish, but 23, I think, at the time, McDonald versus BJ Penn, who was, 33, 34, 35? How old is he now?
He's an old 33, 35.
And he's an old 33, 30, exactly. So
BJ Penn fought his first fight in the UFC.
Yeah. So
and
he should have been able to finish BJ Penn. So that's what works.
He fought Nate Diaz after the loss to Condit, which is another 155.
And Diaz was in the roller coaster that has been his career. He was
up and down. He was in the down.
Lower. Yeah, he was definitely lower than
170.
At that
He never took off at 170.
No, he's not a 170-pound fighter. He's not big at 155 either.
The only finish is from Pyle and Mills in TKO. Mike Pyle is a great striker.
But perennial gatekeeper in the UFC,
of course.
Mike Pyle. A great fighter, but he'll never be wearing gold.
No. He's a great striker. Like you said, I think he's more of a gatekeeper. And Shea Mills, well, we just spoke about him. So here's the only thing. Ellenberger not only is strong and a top contender, he's a big 170, big, strong. I think this is going to definitely be the biggest challenge for Rory McDonald, but I think we'll see him just rise above and take the unanimous decision.
I think it'll be a good fight.
I think it'll be a great fight.
I think we'll see some good stand-up. I think we'll see some good scrambles.
Yeah.
And you'll definitely get to see Ellenberger do his wrestling thing. But then, like we say, will McDonald's grappling, his jiu-jitsu come into play? Will he impress us with that? And that's why we shouldn't have
booze in here. It's
booze
okay.
Behind the microphone.
It slipped on the...
Oops.
It's okay.
We all right?
It slipped.
We could get one of those technical difficulties banners and put it on the screen. Dun, dun, dun. We will be right back after this. 4th episode. I'm getting fired, folks. Well, it was fun.
No, that's all good.
They're water resistant iPads. Don't worry, they're water resistant.
It fell on the side. This is all right. I have
next
to
time
wash
we'll
this.
put away our empties next time.
Is that mine?
No, mine's the one with the fuzzy one here. This one.
Jesus.
Yeah, you didn't even finish your beer. Oh God.
But yeah, back to Rory McDonald. I think here's the thing though. If he wins against Ellenberger, I mean, who else? Like,
who else does he have to win and get a title shot?
He said he wouldn't fight GSP.
No.
It's bullshit.
Yeah,
it's bullshit.
I hate this shit with partners not fighting each other, training partners not fighting each other. Like each gym's got how many guys now?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, when you become one of the elite gyms, everybody wants to train there.
Exactly.
And all guys come there. And,
so what do we have to worry about 5-6 guys in the same weight class
in 10 years? What's going to happen? They're all going to be under 2 gyms, and then it's going to be one gym versus the other gym.
Exactly.
That shit's got to stop, man.
No.
I know. There's a team, there's a family environment and stuff, but that shit's got to stop. You're a fighter. You're a fighter, and if it means fighting, if you're 2 top 170s, but. Even if he wins tonight, I would like to see him fight maybe, I don't know, who else is on top at 170? I mean, there's a lot of guys. Like maybe a rematch with Carlos Condit if Carlos Condit wins against Carlos Condit.
That's a good call. Maybe Condit is fighting. Yeah, you asking me questions on the fly.
Come on, I'm putting you on the spot.
Steph.
Thanks, fuck, bro.
Thanks, putting me on the spot like that.
No.
Carlos Condit. We'll find him. Hold on.
I think he's scheduled to fight somebody. My fucking iPad is... You fucked it up. No, I'm just kidding. Kidding. I didn't want anyone to be an excuse to buy the new one. So what happened? I dropped some fucking beer on it.
There we go. There's Condit's profile. What's he fighting next?
Is he fighting next? Is he scheduled to fight?
I was going to say, is he fighting Campman? Because it always seems to be those names.
Yes,
and he is
Campman 2.
Campman again. Yeah, exactly.
It's a rematch.
It's a rematch, exactly. That's what I wanted to say. And he's the other guy in the picture. The problem is he always loses when he's got his chance.
Campman?
I love Martin Campman. He's been in UFC for a long time now, too. He's always put on good fights. I can't think of one boring Martin Campman fight.
Comeback kids in the last few kids.
Big time.
He got mauled by Thiago Alves for 3 rounds and then pulled out
a huge submission. Won by guillotine, did he not?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And that's it. Alves was, after dominating on the feet, decided, I'm going to take him down and dominate that part of the match.
Brain fart from Thiago Alves. Let's give it up for him.
So it's kind of been that revolving door because
I think if Condit wins, I think you'd like to see maybe a rematch with. Because Condit is right there, right on top of the 170. So I think you can. I'd like to see a rematch,
but he's going to have to win more than So if you have Condit beats Campman. Ellenberger, McDonald win. You have them fight each other again. Either way, you're getting a rematch out of those 2, right?
Yeah, I think they're the top 4 guys at the 170.
And that's it. And other than Hendricks, and then Hendricks is fighting GSP.
Yeah.
So, and then what? Nick Diaz, I guess, is the next.
Yeah, but
next in line. But he's not getting a fight anytime soon.
He wants to, but what do you give him?
He wants a lot of things in life.
He wanted to fight Anderson Silva. Yeah. That boat is sealed.
Yeah. But other than those, there's your top 5. Those are your top 6. Other than that.
It's just gonna.
Then you got guys like Stun Gun Kim.
Yeah.
You got Josh Koscheck. I think he's done.
Well, there's another 170. Robbie Lawler.
Fighting. We'll see. Yeah, if his momentum.
He knocked out Koscheck.
Yeah, that's right.
But he's fighting Bobby Volkner, whatever his name. Volker.
Yeah,
which is a Strike Force guy.
Yeah.
I saw him fight Patrick Cote in Montreal. It was a close fight. It was a really close fight. I mean, Cote got the decision. He was in Montreal, but I wouldn't say Volkner won the fight, but it was a really close fight. He landed some hard shots. He's a good striker. Robbie Lawler is a striker first, I think. He's a power motherfucker.
Who's fought at 185 for most of his career, and
the fact that he cuts to 170, it might affect his stamina, though. His Volkner can get him out of the first round.
Yeah.
Maybe Volkner can grind him out in the later rounds and maybe either finish him off. This is another flip switch. I'll go with Robbie Lawler here. I'll pick him because
stop picking the same guys.
Sorry, you want to pick him? Okay, I'll pick Volker. Okay, all right. I'll say Volker TKO in about the 3-minute mark in the 3rd round.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm saying Robbie Lawler knocks him out in the 1st.
All right, deal.
That's what I'm going with. I've always liked Robbie Lawler. I've mentioned this before. Love rooting for the Strike Force guys.
Yeah.
I like this resurgence at 170. I don't think he'll go on to be a world beater or anything.
No.
He's been around the block for many years.
Fuck, he's been a while there.
I mean, he was fighting UFC in the dark ages, right?
Strike Force.
When nobody really wasn't really watching before.
He's an old.
Before he got really big. So,
Matt
but
Hughes
those,
guy.
and then you've got a bunch of other fights on the card.
We
but
got that.
Nobody really cares
There's
about
the
the
women's
rest of
fight.
them. There's a women's fight, though, yeah.
Liz Carmouche that
Liz
lost to
Carmouche.
Ronda Rousey in the first ever women's UFC fight. She's
Isn't
fighting.
this the first lesbian versus lesbian fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is the way they got to catch headlines, really.
Yeah. Lesbo versus Lesbo.
Seriously, though. I mean, I'm all for women's MMA, but when that's the selling point of the fight, and that's what I was reading, the headlines leading up to this week's fight, tonight's fight. Oh, two openly gay
fighters,
lesbian fight each other. Yay. Okay.
I'll pick Liz.
It doesn't matter. It
I
doesn't
don't
matter
wanna
if
go
you're gay
into-
or straight. Is that the storyline?
They're both fighters.
How about how good they are, and if they're going to be contending for the title, and maybe
I don't know much about
posing a threat to Ronda Rousey. No,
Yeah.
that doesn't seem to be important.
I don't know much about this Jessica Andretti.
No, I don't know much about Jessica
So I'll
Andretti
go
either.
with Liz Carmouche.
Yeah, Liz
Carmouche
Carmouche is a safe pick in this one. She's not losing. She's not losing.
so-
She's one of the top female.
Talk about women's MMA. The UFC, I think, is the UFC. So they're going to show the biggest women's MMA fighters and fights. They're going to put them up, and these types of fight are just kind of like padding the women's MMA division.
Well, until they can buy out
But-
Invicta and bring over all the female fighters
Listen,
they got over
I
there.
don't want that to happen. I was rewatching Invicta
They put on
FC6.
some good pay-per-views.
I love Invicta. Listen, they're able to put on from prelims to fucking main event a quality card filled with women's MMA.
Only women.
And
that's what's
I watched
amazing.
the first
To think
prelim
that
fight.
Every fight, you won't get bored.
No. I watched the first fight on the prelim, and it was fucking a good fight. And I was like, dude, there's no other, because Strikeforce was doing women's MMA, right? But they were putting on main event fights like Carano and
Yeah, well, that's
Misha
it.
Tate
They had the
and
names and
the
Cyborg
Kaufman and
Santos.
Cyborg and Boan and so forth.
Well,
But
no longer Santos. She's divorced. Did you hear?
she's Cyborg what then?
She's just
I don't
Cyborg.
fucking-
She's
she's
just
just a cyborg.
Christiane Cyborg.
She destroyed. Who did she fight? She fought Marlos Conan,
yeah.
which I like. I wish she could, but Santos is just a different beast.
She's yeah.
If she can make 135, listen. Ronda Rousey, and she and her arm bars. After a while, you gotta go. You can't.
But
bet
she's gonna
against
have
her.
to take 5-6 punches from
Jesus Christ
from Cyborg before she can get her down.
And she's no slouch on the ground game either. So
No.
I mean, she's.
I don't know if she must be a black belt. I don't think you can leave
by
Brazil.
default.
I don't think you can leave
There's
Brazil
you have to
as a mixed martial artist without having your black
You
belt.
have to realize
first.
there's a lot of people out there that are black belt by default, right?
Yeah.
They're like, I'm a black belt on Wikipedia. But,
Wikipedia.
you know, a black belt becomes a white belt when he starts getting punched in the face, right?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
totally different. And I'm not. Listen.
But Ronda Rousey isn't a face puncher.
Yeah, dude.
She's an arm breaker.
She's been learning to break arms since she was like 8 years old, though. That's a different type of story. She's an Olympic athlete. Ronda Rousey is a different story. But one
that's a
day
whole
somebody
other-
will beat her. She's the Anderson Silva of the women's MMA right now.
Right now, yeah.
Well, not anymore, Anderson Silva.
Anderson. Well,
Cheers to him.
yeah, and he'll be getting his rematch, and he'll be winning that belt back, I think. Did you read that he actually spoke out recently about what happened with that
He
fight?
cried on live TV in Brazil when he was
Did he
questioned
really?
about it.
Oh my!
Somebody
I didn't see
interviewed
that.
him on live TV, and they questioned him about the fight fixing, and he started crying on the TV.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had read that he was
didn't-
talking about losing focus, and his reaction after the fight about not wanting a title shot was more about him just being so sad and disappointed with the loss
Yeah.
that he couldn't even think about fighting.
I think it's more about Uncle Dana showing up with a shitload of cash after the fight.
that
Going, hey,
or the contract that he just signed with two of his lawyers standing by him.
dude, you just signed a 10-fight contract. You just made 600 grand. How about you make 800 grand for the next fight, win or lose?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, no
And then
problem. I'll fight.
Okay, I'm the best now. He's not the best anymore, Dana. I am the best.
But yeah, and then the rubber match, right, will be the biggest fight ever.
So if Weidman loses, then
Yeah.
you get an instant
There you go.
rematch again.
Because that's all they've got to offer. Hey, we're already seeing Velasquez dos Santos.
I read that.
3.
I read
come on.
shocking news this week about Chael Sonnen saying he's going back to 185 after he's done with Shogun.
Yeah.
How about that fucking fight though? Shogun versus Sonnen. I think people don't realize how big of a fucking fight that is.
Yeah.
Shogun is let's face it, he's not what he was back
No.
in Pride. He gasses out after about 34 seconds, but the guy is still Shogun.
He is.
When Shogun fights, you fucking tune in to watch the fight. It's fucking Shogun. He's the Pride, Grand Prix champ, and he's Shogun. Yeah. And who did he beat in the UFC? Let's see, Vera. But then it was a fucking he was minutes away from getting, from really gassing out. But he, Dan Anderson, he put on a great fight with Dan Anderson.
Man, fight of the year. Some people say one of the best fights of all time.
Yeah, man. But here's the thing, though. Both of them were gassed out after the second round. So all you saw was a punch here, punch there, So it's... I think that Chael Sonnen puts a fucking paste on a guy that Sonnen's going to get real tired. I won't be surprised. Listen, I always pick Sonnen.
If this fight wasn't at 205, I'd pick Sonnen. But at 205, I don't think Sonnen wins.
You think Shogun's going to...
I think Shogun's going to do it, yeah. I think Shogun will beat him.
I'll pick Sonnen for that fight.
I mean, Shogun, let's not forget, this is the guy, he was champ not too long ago. He was the one who was able to demystify the enigma, the puzzle that was Lyoto Machida's karate and his elusiveness. You ever want to play a fun drinking game with your friends whenever you watch a UFC fight and involving Lyoto Machida? Just count the amount of times that either Joe Rogan or Mike Goldberg say the word elusive or elusiveness and take a sip, and you will be hammered by round 2. I swear.
I laughed to talk about drinking games after our first podcast together. Somebody mentioned that I said the word fucking or fuck a lot.
Yeah. I had heard it. Go figure from my friends. I was like, so what'd you think? A lot of swearing, guys. Really? That's
really?
Your feedback? If I want to hear that kind of feedback, I'll ask my aunt how she liked the podcast. You guys shouldn't swear so much.
Really?
I thought it was good, but you guys swear just a little too much. You're going to hell.
So this girl,
none of my aunts aren't watching us. Give me a break.
So she said that she was going to play a drinking game in the next podcast, and every time we said the word fuck or fucking, she was going to. I said yeah, maybe you get drunk by the first 15 minutes. Man, so I kind of tuned it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, if fuck or fucking is the only swear word I use during the podcast, thank God I'm not using words like.
I think it's just sometimes we just get very passionate, and instead of using one fuck, we're using 3 fucks.
Yeah.
Like fucking fuck.
Jesus, fuck.
But there's no other word in the language that could be a verb, a noun, an adjective, an adverb.
Fuck the fucking
everything.
fuckers.
Fucking
say
fuck.
That. Yeah.
Fuck.
You can use the word
fucking fuck. That's a sentence right there.
Jesus Christ. Hopefully they're not playing a drinking game while watching this podcast.
Suckers, you're all hammered now.
It's shot after shot after shot, bro.
There, I'll drink along with you.
All right. 1 hour and 20 minutes.
Shit, we went over. Wow. Still not that bad.
Not bad. Anything else you want to talk about? So UFC on Fox tonight.
If anybody wants to buy any golf clubs, I got a nice set of Nikes. No, maybe give me another week.
Pimping your shit?
No, I'm not selling anything. But man,
by the way, if anybody
cool off after today's game,
anybody want to sponsor my podcast, you can email me at info@modernmaverick.net.
Yeah. Sponsor your website. You put their banners up on the website.
So I'm not looking, like I said, I'm not looking to make money off of it, but you want to shoot a little bit dough my way, and then I can sponsor you on the website.
Scratch his back, he'll scratch yours.
We are getting listen, 50 views in a couple of days for some is nothing on YouTube, but I'm surprised about the views and downloads that we are getting from either YouTube and Podomatic.
Yeah, Podomatic seems
holy shit, man.
Traffic's up, yeah.
Podomatic, the only thing is that I have it under the category comedy because there's no other category that falls into. I can't put it, maybe like social. There's another thing about culture and society.
Why are we not funny?
But yeah, I think.
Do I not make you laugh?
Yeah, you do make me laugh.
Good.
Thank you.
People like to laugh. Why not?
Why not?
Comedy, to be honest, some of our friends, shame on them, have still not watched this.
Really?
Or heard us yet. And they ask, but they all think that we're just talking UFC and sports the whole time. And my brother had even asked, and I was trying to remember what we had talked about the last episode, so I pulled up your post on Facebook. I said, I went to the actual YouTube page, and I actually showed him a bit of the video while he was driving. He didn't crash the car, don't worry. We weren't that hilarious. But I said, no. I said, here, we talked about George Zimmerman. Oh, yeah, we talked about Detroit going bankrupt. We talked about steroids in sports. And we didn't even talk UFC last at all. I guess they just assume because we're big UFC fans and whatnot. But no, that's not what everybody wants to hear. Even the male demographic, our buddies don't want to just hear that. So don't be... I guess comedy, general, pop culture, just a bit of everything.
Anything.
We aim to entertain.
I think it's the entertainment part. if anything else pops up, it's just whatever we start talking about, it can go into a
just
conversation.
snowballs into a 2-hour podcast.
I mean, there's a lot of people that ask me what it's about, and I always try to tell them, the first part is there's always going to be either UFC or sports at the end.
Yeah, there'll be something.
That's
you
my.
Can't help it.
I'm a man, and I love sports.
Hey, we drink beer. We grow facial hair. We burp and fart, and we watch fights.
Yeah. And not only fights, but I'll fucking watch tennis if tennis is on, Like,
I don't watch much tennis anymore, though. I got to be honest. I love to play tennis, though my elbow, I'd last maybe a set if I'm lucky before.
I used to play when I was younger and a teenager, but...
Yeah, I used to take courses, played every day.
Oh, yeah?
Played every day as a kid. Yeah, teenager. Loved it. Wasn't the best. I was a bit of a choker. I had the tendency to blow enormous leads. Ooh, yeah, everyone was always making comebacks against me.
I thought you were just going to say blow enormous loads, but that's...
Maybe in a past life.
That's my dirty mind going, see, that's a dirty thing. I didn't say fuck or fucking, but I did say loads.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
Whatever, bro. At least I'm not using words like cunts and shit like that.
Hey, Louis C.K. has a great bit about the word cunt, how beautiful it is of a word, but we can't use it. How it could be
called butterfly instead of vagina.
Yeah.
I watched his last... how it should just... We call it even vagina is too beautiful. Yeah. I saw his last. I think it's called Oh My God on HBO. Did you watch it?
I have not. No, I have not seen it.
It's Louis C.K. is a fucking.
He's great.
He is probably the best comedian on the planet right now. He works a different hour every year, which is people think, oh, it's a different hour every year. Dude, that's a lot of fucking work. He puts an hour of jokes. Try to tell jokes for an hour.
Changing his bit. He does not like to retell the same jokes, and he's always looking.
But his
last his show's been a huge success. He's nominated for an Emmy for his appearance on SNL.
Oh yeah.
I am disappointed, however. Yeah, Timberlake got a nomination again, and so did he. But I think if anybody deserved it this season is what's his name, Kevin Hart. Did you see the Kevin Hart SNL this year?
That chocolate commercial when they were recording that chocolate commercial.
It's just it was my favorite. Yeah, just I thought
Kevin Hart is a funny motherfucker.
He was so into that episode. It just he gave it his all. The skits were great. Is it a C-shirt? Is it a D-shirt? Like it was just amazing.
Have you seen any of his stand-up of his specials?
Yes. I'm a grown ass man, a grown ass little man.
Yeah. The one where Shaq is in the thing and he imitates Shaq falling down.
Yes.
Oh my God. I fall down. LeBron James. That's when LeBron used to play in Cleveland with Shaq. And, LeBron just pick him up. Fucking funniest bit. Kevin Hart is a fuck.
So I think he got gypped. I think he should have been nominated.
Yeah, the guy is fucking hilarious. His comedy shows are hilarious. His movies, the guy's on fire right now. I think
he is blown up big time in the last few years.
He's
good for him.
Fucking,
he deserves it.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious. But the Louis C.K., if you have time, check it out. I think it's called Oh My God. I think that's what it is on HBO.
Nice. I'm going to have to stock up on stuff to watch there if I'm spending another week in Quebec in a hotel with standard cable, no HD, and $13 pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I have to bring some stuff to watch. $13. We're not even talking about porn here, people.
Jesus Christ. Just to watch a Sandra Bullock movie?
Yeah, and they won't let me download stuff. They block the torrent sites, the fuckers.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What the fuck's wrong?
I gotta come prepared next time.
Internet sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's it. An hour and 28 minutes. So an hour and a half went a bit over, but who cares? It's a beautiful Saturday. We drank a lot of beer. We spilled a bit of beer. My iPad is still working. Who gives a fuck?
Hopefully.
modernmaverick.net. Check it out. Every link is on there. My YouTube page is on there. My Twitter is on there. My Facebook. Everybody, the Modern Maverick Facebook is on there. Check out my buddy here, my co-host, my
the
better
wind
half.
Beneath your wings. The manic mouth.
We didn't use that. I fucking forgot about that.
Me too. I just remember now. You're like,
manic mouth.
The manic mouth. I gotta make a T-shirt.
Jesus. You know what? We should fucking once the Modern Maverick fucking skyrockets, we'll have T-shirts.
We'll start making some stickers and stuff. Start putting it all over the city.
Dude.
You know?
Getting some guests. We need to fucking find an amazing guest.
An amazing guest, or how about a mediocre guest? Because I got tons of those.
But a mediocre friends.
I got
Just
lots
show
of
up.
mediocre people. That can so, what do you think about
Just-
things?
no mics.
I think things are good.
Just have somebody sitting here really awkward the next
really
one.
awkward.
No mic, no
Sweating
just-
and scratching compulsively.
Not only that, just have him sit here and totally ignore him like nobody's here. Just keep talking. The guy just sitting in the background, just tipping over and shit. Oh, by the way, at the end, an hour and a half later, here's our friend.
It's our buddy Dave here, by
Is
the
it
way.
Dave? Yeah, it's Dave. Oh, yeah, whatever. Fuck that, man. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we can, I got to work on my, there's a few people that I've talked about and said that they want to come on.
Yeah.
So I just need to get a bit more comfortable. I think I'm getting more comfortable. I think I like this. Today was a great podcast.
We've been
I
doing
feel
good.
a bit more
I think
podcast.
we've taken some big strides, I think, in the last couple of podcasts.
Maybe one day, No, I'm hoping this thing takes off. I don't really give, to be honest, at the end of the day, I don't really care. I love doing this.
But hey, wouldn't it be fun doing this as a job?
Fuck that.
Wouldn't it be fun?
Get sponsors.
You know,
by
getting people every time somebody clicks on your page, money's coming your way.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Some sponsors.
That is the
Every time they
goal,
click
my
on the
friend.
sponsors. And all I have to do is entertain people for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Once a week. That's the life.
Check out my co-host here on Twitter.
J Flynn MTL.
That's it.
Facebook.com/Flynn 24/7 FLYNN. Because that's how real Flynns spell it. None of this I single N shit.
Yeah.
I saw that once. FLIN. I don't know where he came from.
Yeah, well, make it up shit.
YNN. Oh.
Check me out on Twitter at Steph Paulin. On Instagram, the same thing. On Facebook, The Modern Maverick. And once again, themodernmaverick.net. So an hour and 31 minutes later, we are done. See you later. Actually, before I end up, I think we're going to be maybe 2 weeks before we do the next one. So I'm leaving on vacation next Wednesday.
That's right.
So I won't be here next weekends. We normally record on weekends, so maybe I'll jump to the following week/weekend.
You should do a little mini podcast over from New Brunswick.
Yeah, maybe I'll bring. Actually, I'm bringing my camera, so yeah, maybe I'll do.
Update us. Let us know what's going on out there.
Link it up.
Interview a lobster or something.
A lobster, dude. How dare you?
I love lobster. I had lobster.
I'm actually
risotto
gonna
in Quebec.
hopefully.
It was amazing.
My son's godfather, he has a fishing boat that he uses to just go out and. It's more of a party boat now. It's no fishing equipment on it.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Party
he bought
boat.
a boat. Yeah. So
I thought it was one of those little canoes, like
no. He bought a big.
Like Michael Corleone brought Fredo out on.
No. He bought a big fishing boat and took all the equipment out, and then he goes out and bring beer on stuff. So if the weather is nice, we're gonna be spending a lot of time on the boat. Hopefully, I'm gonna be spending a lot of time with my families, my friends out there. So gonna be a fucking blast.
Well, make the most of it.
I will be updating. I'll be loading some videos on. Let's just put that. I'll put
there you go.
on the Facebook.
Put some videos.
On Facebook,
There you
Modern
go.
Maverick. I can load it up.
Little
It's
updates.
easy and stuff like that. See, I'm doing, and then
hi.
hopefully when I come back the following weekend, we'll do another recording, and that's it.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.